nation's birthday. But that tweet that the Democrat, I want people to hear this, the Democratic Party calling it a white supremacy meeting. It's the race card at its highest level. And that came from the Democratic Party. They knew it. And they want to find a racist. All they need to do is go back to Joe Biden insulting every African American who don't vote Democrat. And then secondly, Kamala Harris calling Joe Biden a racist. The bottom line is simply this. If you are a Democrat, you can be a racist. But the point here is you accuse the Republicans of being racist, and there's no evidence of that whatsoever. It is embarrassing, and I'm embarrassed to be a Democrat tonight.
Congressman Biggs, I want to go to you. You know, politicians of all sorts, every end of the political spectrum, they wrap themselves in the flag. They do things like visit Mount Rushmore. I mean, we had Hillary Clinton visit Mount Rushmore. You had Barack Obama visit Mount Rushmore. You had Bernie Sanders visit Mount Rushmore. I never heard any of this from the Democrats. And now all of a sudden, this is some sort of white supremacy event?
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump has had so much success, and he's living in their heads. I mean, you've got an iconic president going to an iconic monument, and he's going to give an iconic speech about how great America is. And all they've got for it is they're going to play the race card, they're going to yell and scream and bellyache. But the reality is, this is what the president should be doing. And if we were in a rational time, I would say this is a time that he could emphasize more perfect union. And this would typify that, as opposed to the division that they're trying to sow.
Jenna, I got to tell you, you're with the Trump campaign. When I was a member of Congress, and Kristi Noem, who's now the governor of South Dakota, when she was serving in Congress, she told me about a meeting she had with Donald Trump when she very first went in there. Donald, this is 2017. And she said she invited Donald Trump. She said, when I become the governor of South Dakota, I want you to come here for 4th of July. And she said it was amazing. Had this great conversation with the president talking about, hopefully, when I become governor, you can come out. Now it's actually coming to fruition, and the Democrats are trying to change the reality of what actually happened and how that invitation even started.
Yeah, they are. And you know, Jason, it's such an amazing honor to be here with the president. And I think that we're going to hear from him a spirit of optimism and genuinely the American spirit. Because, you know, truly, the truth of the founding of our country is not built upon perfect men, but that they serve a perfect God. And that our American optimism and the genuine opportunity that we have for providence, for liberty, and truly prosperity is because of our founding principles and values. President Trump is such a citizen president because he understands that he's bringing that spirit of optimism and opportunity back to Americans. I'm surrounded by thousands of people here who are so excited to be Trump supporters. You know, as my dad and I were coming in today, we saw all of the flags, all of the Trump 2020. If you get out of the swamp, you get out of the fake news media, you get out of Joe Biden's basement, you see that America loves President Trump because he has emboldened us with true and genuine leadership as the Republican Party, but even more as Americans, because we're built on that eternal truth and that recognition that we're all created equal, and it's only through that equality and prosperity that our principles and our rights have been endowed by God, our Creator, that then we can genuinely be so proud to be Americans. And I'm proud to be an American standing in front of Mount Rushmore. This is not a symbol of white supremacy. This is a symbol of imperfect men who recognize the truth of God.
Now, Jenna's there on the ground there in South Dakota. But, Leo, this is just what seems like a daily string of the Democrats telling good old-fashioned Americans that what they do, what they believe in their country and patriotism is wrong. At what point did the Democrats overstep their bounds? I think Americans are tired of being told that you can't love America, and if you do, that there's something wrong with you.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we're going to see a shift in the polls because this Democratic rhetoric does not sell to the general public. What's wrong with loving God and country and putting America first? Jason, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm just going to be very honest. The Democrats do not want the president to succeed. They will do everything in their power to defeat this president, not because he's not accomplishing things. They are just power hungry, and they are just using race. The most vile thing you can do, race. Every day to portray Trump as a racist. Donald Trump is not a racist, Democrat. He is not. You are. You need to stop playing the race card and give the American voters some policy and stop the race card. It's ridiculous.
Now, Congressman, I guess part of what bothers me and bothers a lot of Americans is the hypocrisy because, like I said, when Clinton and Obama and Bernie Sanders, they all went and visited Mount Rushmore and nobody said a peep. Nobody ever even thought that this was part of being racist by going to Mount Rushmore, for goodness sake.
No, and Jason, that's the biggest problem I've seen. The biggest exposure of the Democrats is that form of hypocrisy that they have. I mean, you've got everything from this allegation. So yeah, it's okay for Democrats to come, but a Republican can't come. And you start laying that down on a whole series of violations of what I would call moral code of the United States in our country. It's okay for the Democrats to violate that moral code, but they're going to attack the president and the Republicans every way they can. And quite frankly, I think Leo's right here. What happens is they don't have any kind of policy initiatives to make this country a more perfect union. So what they're going to do is they're going to castigate everybody else and attack those who love this country, who believe that we were founded on greatness, and that's where they're going to be. And that's the hypocrisy, is how they live and choose to campaign and do everything that they condemn. If you want to know what they're doing, look what the Democrats are condemning us for. That's what they're doing. That's the hypocrisy. That's the evidence of the hypocrisy.
Now, Jenna, one of the things the president mentioned before he got on Air Force One this morning was the incredible jobs numbers that have come out in this economy. Good news for the economy, but some of these other networks, they didn't even cover this. They didn't even mention it. They wanted to just play on this idea that this was some sort of white supremacy event by going to Mount Rushmore.
And Jason, that's where it's so ridiculous that the left will shape the narrative in any way that they can to be anti-Trump. They don't want this economy to rebound. They don't want President Trump to succeed. But we need to keep telling the truth. And the truth is that this president has built the greatest economy and the lowest unemployment. And that's been for minorities. That's been for all Americans. And he's built it once. He's going to rebuild it again. And, we're pushing through a very difficult time in American history. That's why he is a wartime president. But he is going to push through in leadership. And we've had so many other things in our nation's history that we have had to push through with courage and with leadership. And the Democrats want to halt that. They want to always focus on the negative. We have to reject the premise of their arguments, and we have to push forward in truth, which is that President Trump has built it once. He will build it again. And he is the only option for 2020 that will secure and protect our rights and liberties that our founders recognized are given by God, our creator, not our government. And he understands it's the sole purpose of government to preserve and protect those rights. That is not what Joe Biden or the radical left stands for. They want more power. They don't want to give you liberty and freedom.
No, I do. I think the whole election is going to be about liberty and freedom and the economy. And I don't see that Joe Biden has any economic agenda. If he does, he's hiding it awfully well there in his basement in Delaware. Jenna Ellis, Leo Terrell, and Congressman Biggs, thank you so much for joining us. You're looking at live pictures of protests in Keystone, South Dakota that we're monitoring. Coming up, more live coverage on the ground from Mount Rushmore. Plus, Laura Logan and Joe Concha will weigh in on today's media, the unyielding partisan hatred of President Trump, as this special edition of Hannity continues.
I am totally blind. And non-24 can throw my days and nights out of sync, keeping me from the things I love to do. Talk to your doctor and call 844-214-2424.
Don't glue it. JB Welded. When strength really matters, choose the leader in epoxy adhesives for metal, wood, plastic, and more. JB Weld, world's strongest bond.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress topper, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, only $29.99 with your promo code. With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose.
Sundays.
Hello, America. I'm Mark Levin.
Mark makes sense of our nation's biggest headlines with insight into the issues that matter most. Sundays at 8, only on Life, Liberty, and Levin.
To the area's next level rehabilitation experience, choose Providence Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center, adjacent to Mercy Fitzgerald Hospital.
Horizon Files on Demand, the best romance, more thrillers, and the latest products. Like this one.
I like this stuff now. It's greasy.
Get the hottest new releases with Horizon Files on Demand. Welcome back to this Hannity special, Countdown to 2020.
Yes.
We are awaiting a Marine One flyover of Mount Rushmore, due to happen any second now. When it comes to, we're going to show you some live shots of that. The president, he boarded Marine Air Force One, took off, he flew there to South Dakota. He's on the ground, supposedly they're about to board Marine One for another historic flyover of Mount Rushmore. As President Trump was on his way to Mount Rushmore, the mainstream media mock simply decided that the